Genrikh Yagoda, one of the greatest mass murderers of all time. What I'm about to read is a full book description from The Secret Behind Communism by Dr. David Duke, as taken from the hardcover Dust Jacket. Recognize this man? Not one person out of 1,000 knows his name. It is Genrikh Yagoda, and historians agree that the Soviet Communist secret police boss was one of the greatest genocidal mass murderers of all time, yet we hear nothing about him in the globalist media. However, Israeli media reveals things that are hushed up for the rest of us. A major Israeli publication, Ynet News, disclosed the historical truth about Yagoda, saying, "We mustn't forget that some of the greatest mass murderers of all time were Jewish." It goes on, Genrikh Yagoda was the greatest Jewish murderer of the 20th century. He is responsible for the deaths of at least 10 million people. So Yagoda, who ironically sported a mustache identical to Hitler's, killed twice the number alleged against Hitler, according to premier Holocaust historian Raoul Hilberg, alleges 5.1 million. Ynet News goes on to matter-of-factly state, his Jewish deputies established and managed the Gulag system. Yet we hear almost nothing in the news and the Hollywood and entertainment media about Yagoda and the legion of murderers who killed 5 times more people than the alleged numbers of Jewish Holocaust. Do you think those victims any less human? Their children any less precious? Why is there so little media about this? Why no blockbuster films about the crimes of Yagoda and others? Why no trials and punishment? Why no museums and mass media on the Red Terror? The group that dominates Hollywood and the media at large hide the facts about the leading Jewish role in communism and its crimes. Why can Israeli media, but not our media, reveal the leading Jewish role in these horrors? This thoroughly researched book fearlessly documents and identifies those responsible for the communism all the way from the days of Karl Marx and Moses Hess. It documents the common Jewish roots of communism and Zionism and the alliances and conflicts of the two movements right up to the present day. It reveals the transformation of Jewish Marxists since the Second World War into Zionists, modern leftists, progressives, and even neoconservatives, whose founders worship Leon Trotsky, the executor of the Red Terror. This is the most complete and thorough treatment of the subject ever published and is based on the research of Dr. David Duke, Frank Britton, Nobel laureate Alexander Solzhenitsyn, and many others. It includes key quotes from Solzhenitsyn's greatest work, 200 Years Together, which has suspiciously not been published in English by the global media. Finally, the book shows how the same ethnic tribalism that created the Bolshevik tyranny and genocide has not dissipated but intensified. It created and fuels the racist Jewish supremacist Israel state and the wars and Zio-globalist influence over media, government, and finance that threatens all of humanity.